Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. There we go. That was a better one. So, my name is Andres, and I will be the one taking care of you for this reading. Well, that was nice. Oh, okay. So as always, I will be the one. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause quick. Interesting. As soon as I said that too, the AC turned off, so it felt more silent. Okay, I feel better now. I felt like I was rushing. This feels insanely better to go at this pace. Yeah, that feels nice. I was feeling very rushed. I wasn't really. I was tripping over my words. Do you feel rushed, Virgo? Have you been feeling anxious? Because that's how I felt for sure. Anytime I feel anxious, you need to move on to the next moment as fast as you can. Okay, well, I will be using the help from these three homies. They're very good homies. We'll start with the Thoth Tarot. And this is a beautiful card, Knight of Cups. I like this card. I think this is my birthday card, I believe. The Knight of Cups. Yes, February 9th to March 10th. The Fire of Water. The crest is a peacock with open wings. So a peacock, look out for a peacock. Look out for a white horse or crabs issuing from the cup, the sea. Knight of Cups. Swiftness and violence. Ill suit a character naturally placid. It is rare indeed to meet a person who has succeeded in harmonizing these conflicting elements, being placid and swift and violent at the same time. Alright, Milo DuQuette writes, I've got to be careful with this one. Both my wife and son are the Knight of Cups. Of course, none of the negative qualities of this card pertain to either of them. So looping out of the card in the opposite direction than that of the Knight of Wands, a Knight of Cups is a cool contrast to his brother. Fire of Water brings to mind water in action, a pelting rain, a gushing spring, and the more patient actions whereby water erodes and dissolves things. Interesting. So water in action. So fluidity, movement. So movement, when you go with the flow, this is probably the Knight of Cups. Water in action. When you go to Goku's Ultra Instinct. So, alright, I'm starting my words again. I'm trying to rush again. Slow down. But yes, Goku, when he goes Ultra Instinct, and my dog barked as soon as I said that. So, when he goes Ultra Instinct, that is water in action. He's not commanding his body's movements. He is more going with his body's movements. Because water, when it fills an area, it's kind of just following and going with the whatever surface it is going on, you know. But at the same time, this is movement, water in action. Water erodes and dissolves things. So like a river, it's going down the lowest resistance path, but it's also making an imprint on that same path from the weight of its own water. So you're going with the flow, but you're putting your imprint on that flow as well. So like most of the court cards, Harris's version respectfully contains all the major features of the Golden Dawn model, including a most beautiful and subtle peacock that seems to be fashioned from a plume of pure water created by the wake of the night's movement. Oh, the peacock is right here. Yeah. I think Crowley... Wait. So yeah, it's saying the same thing. So the peacock that seems to be fashioned from the pure water created by the wake of the night's movement. So this night made its movement and it brought out the peacock. So just like we said, a river imprinting on the same path. So the imprint would be this peacock that comes out. When that wasn't there before, but now it is. It says, I think Crowley rather liked this fellow, and after all, what's not to like? He is amiable in a passive way. Amiable in a passive way? I don't know. I don't even know what amiable is. He is quick to respond to attraction and easily becomes enthusiastic under such stimulus, but he is not very enduring. We can probably blame the influence of mutable Pisces for throwing her wet blanket on the white horse for our otherwise fury lord of the waves and the waters. This makes Knight of Cups a pretty nice guy. He's just not very deep. In fact, the worst name we can call him is Shallow Water. He has natural innocence and interesting. So shallow water wouldn't make a big imprint. So this is saying this, when you go with the flow that way, you don't usually make a big imprint because you're going with the flow. He has a natural innocence and purity that make him likable, but he's often just not deep enough for those virtues to easily manifest as profound nobility of character. As Crowley says, his name is written in water. While this may be somewhat true for natives such as Sonny Bono, Mia Farrow, and Burt Reynolds, there must also be something in the character of this card that engenders the likes of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Susan B. Anthony, and Thomas Edison. Cool blues and blue-greens dominate this card, as they do the other court cards. Interesting. Yeah, so the shallow water, usually you don't make big imprint, you don't make big movements. It takes a lot of water to make to erode things and dissolve things. But yeah, like I said, but this is true for some. There are also other characters, other maybe like groups of water that go, then when they do make an imprint, they make quite an imprint. That's cool. Okay, Knight of Cups. Okay, we're gonna take chill, go slow, start from the beginning, or this is a new beginning. Okay, the Knight of Cups is jumping right into this Fool. The Fool 0. This is the beginning. The beginning. The beginning. The beginning. Ooh, okay, so for some reason I want to start somewhere. Alright. What is truth? Silence. Alright. I'll just start at the beginning, I guess. I was gonna not start at the beginning for some reason. But this is the Fool. This is the beginning. Why not start at the beginning? This is the spirit of the ether, the elemental trump of air. Interesting, because air, you can feel it, air, but you can't see it. But we know air exists because we can feel it, right? When it's windy. What's being windy? Well, the air is being windy. Hebrew letter Aleph, which means ox. This is the path number 11 on the Tree of Life, joining number 1, Kether, the crown, to number 2, Chakma wisdom. This is this one. A 2-0, the fool. The beginning. When the one became two. Know not. All ways are lawful to innocence. Pure folly is the key to initiation. Silence breaks into rapture. Be neither man nor woman, but both in one. Be silent, babe in the egg of blue, that thou mayest grow to bear the lance and grail. Wander alone and sing. In the king's palace his daughter awaits thee. Okay, so silence breaks into rapture. So it means silence can be loud, Silence will explode into loudness. There will eventually be loudness when there is silence. And always are lawful to innocence. Be neither man nor woman, but both in one. Okay, both in one. That reminded me of that Knight of Cups. Let me go to that Knight of Cups. Swiftness and violence ill suit a character naturally placid. It is rare indeed to meet a person who has succeeded in harmonizing these conflicting elements. So there is something about conflicting elements being united. The fool is the negative issuing into manifestation. The universe is that manifestation, its purpose accomplished, ready to return. In essence, there are not really 22 Trumps. There is only one, the fool, and it's his story. And he goes, and this is just like a different time of his life, just like us. I mean, at one point we're a baby, at one point we're a toddler. We can name ourselves a bunch of different things that we used to be, and we are in a certain stage, and in the future we're going to be called a bunch of other stuff, old, senile probably. I don't know, a lot of different words to describe, but you haven't really changed. You are still you, you are just going through all these phases, but these phases really aren't you. So same with these cards. His story, the major arcana, there's only just the fool, and he's going through the different phases of his life because adventures are dope and fun. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go back to the end where I wanted to start. So I've seen several early drafts that Crowley rejected. To my absolute delight, I discovered that two of them bore the unmistakable image of Harpo Marx. How perfect. In Marx Brothers films, Harpo was the archetypal fool. Even his name betrayed his identity. Not only was he the girl-chasing clown who made fools of all the straight-laced and uptight characters, he did it all without saying a word. He was silent like the very mythological creatures from whom the fool is constructed, silent like Hippocrates, the Greek god of innocence, silent like Dionysus when he was asked by King Pentheus what is truth, silent like Christ standing before Pilate when he was asked the exact same question. So we just say in the Knight of Cups that silence is loud. So one more thing about this card. Other speculations aside, here at the very beginning of our study of the other cards, I ask that you not lose sight of the obvious fact that the fool's genitals are hidden by the sun. Let's keep going. Trust. Interesting. And it's pointing this way. There's something about this new beginning that we feel like we should trust. Just jump. Look at her. She ain't worried about a thing. Taking it easy. Now is the moment to be a bungee jumper without the cord. And it is this quality of absolute trust, with no reservations or secret safety nets, that the Knight of Water demands from us. This is the Knight of Cups again. This is the Knight of Cups again. Interesting. Surrounding the Fool. There is a tremendous sense of exhilaration if we can take the jump and move into the unknown, even if the idea scares us to death. And when we take trust to the level of the quantum leap, we don't make any elaborate plans or preparations. We don't say, okay, I trust that I know what to do now, and I'll settle my things and pack my suitcase and take it with me. No, we just jump, with hardly a thought for what happens next. The leap is the thing, and the thrill of it as we free fall through the empty sky. The card gives a hint here, though, about what waits us for us at the other end. Soft, welcoming, yummy, pink, rose petals, juicy. Come on. Don't waste your life for that which is going to be taken away. Trust life. If you trust, only then can you drop your knowledge. Only then can you put your mind aside. And with trust, something immense opens up. Then this life is no longer ordinary life. It becomes full of God overflowing. When the heart is innocent and the walls have disappeared, you are bridged with infinity. And you are not deceived. There is nothing that can be taken away from you. That which can be taken away from you is not worth keeping. And that which cannot be taken away from you, why should one be afraid of it being taken away? It cannot be taken away. There is no possibility. You cannot lose your real treasure. The Source. Oh, okay, that's cool. Look at how both of these are the Knight of Cups. So they're both very similar. Look at that. Now, look at this. We're back to Source. We're back to the 0 again. Okay, that's pretty cool. This is a cool reading, Virgo. Relax, easy, enjoy, trust. We'll figure this out. This is the Ace of Fire. This is the Ace of Action. The Source. When we speak of being grounded or centered, it is this source we are talking about. When we begin a creative project, it is this source that we tune into. This card reminds us that there is a vast reservoir of energy available to us, and that we tap into it not by thinking and planning, but by getting grounded, centered, and silent enough to be in contact with the source. Okay, and that's what we've been talking about over here. Silence is loud. This is the loudness of your silence. And also, it again said, and that we tap into by not thinking and planning. So that's also been repeated. Something about letting go and not planning, just doing. Going ultra instinct. This is real. This is a real. Yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about with this reading. So then be silent enough to be in contact with the source. It is within each of us, like a personal, individual sun giving us life and nourishment. Pure energy pulsating, available. It is ready to give us anything we need to accomplish something and ready to welcome us back home when we want to rest. This is the thing that we're trusting. And why wouldn't you trust it? I mean, this is just you. Right? Why wouldn't you trust yourself? So whether you are beginning something new and need inspiration right now, or you've just finished something and want to rest, go to the source. It's always waiting for you, and you don't even have to step out of your house to find it. Zen asks you to come out of the head and go to the basic source. It is not that Zen is not aware of the uses of energy in the head, but if all the energy is used in the head, you will never become aware of your eternity. You will never know as an experience what it is to be one with the whole. When the energy is just at the center pulsating, when it is not moving anywhere, neither in the head nor in the heart, but it is at the very source from where the heart takes it, the head takes it, pulsating at the very source. That is the very meaning of Zazen. Zazen means just sitting at the very source, not moving anywhere. Interesting, just like fire, still moving, but being still while you're still moving. So Zen means just sitting at the very source, not moving anywhere. A tremendous force arises, a transformation of energy into light and love, into greater life, into compassion, into creativity. It can take many forms, but first you have to learn how to be at the source, and the source will decide where your potential is. You can relax at the source, and it will take you to your very potential. Sorry, I really want to take this. So that fire is not going anywhere, but look, it hasn't stopped moving. But it's also not going anywhere. But it's moving. King of Cups. It's not the Knight of Cups, but it is the King of Cups. And look at that, cup is back. The gift was given. King of Cups. Wise, compassionate, diplomatic, sincere, open, tolerant, meditative, calm. This king's life was not always smooth sailing. The seas were sometimes gentle and other times stormy. Through experience, he found emotional balance so that whether the tide rises or falls, he is centered. He is gentle but not weak. He has mastered channeling emotions to maintain harmony and balance. He is a wonderful diplomat, easily able to empathize with many points of view. Emotions are powerful. They can be destructive or harnessed for good. When they are a raging tide, can you direct them? Their strength may be fearsome, but can you channel your feelings into something constructive? Will you choose to act upon your emotions? How can you take what you are feeling now and put it to productive use? So, if your emotions are a raging tide, it's as simple as they are just not being listened to. So how do you feel when you're not listened to? At least that's how I am. If I'm not listened to, if it's something that I'm like a feeling I'm trying to get across, but I'm not being listened to, then I get mad because it's like, dude, it's as simple as just listen. Like, I don't know, it's hard not to be understood or seen or even just simply listened to. It's not like when I'm making commands, it's something simple as sharing something of what I am or what I think or how I feel. And when that isn't being listened to, then yeah, I get rage. But so just you feeling that rage when the emotion keeps popping up and in the raging tide, then it's because you are doing that to your emotions. You are not listening to them, so they get equally as angry as you do. And they want to be listened to. And it's literally as simple as just listen. What is it telling you? Stop ignoring them. What are these emotions trying to tell you? And then when you listen to what they are trying to tell you, they will go back to calm. They will be smooth sailing again. Just like these waters. Seven of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so these are going towards each other. So that seems like it's an opposition. So balancing, same, but different. But what is the Seven of Swords? Swords is of the mind. We are pretty low in the tree of life. Seven of Swords is about deception, strategy, tactics, cunning, and resourcefulness. And my dog wants to come in. Hello, Luna. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi, Luna. Oh, she's so excited to come inside. To come in the room. Hi, Luna. Yeah, hi. I wonder what she found that she got so excited about. That made her want to come back and express her excitement. Now she's going to the window. I love that stuff. Alright, Seven of Swords. Sneakiness and deception are at work here. You or someone in your life may resort to cunning strategies or work in secret for their own agenda. They may be lucky and get away with it, or get found out, leaving nothing but shame and guilt. On a more benign level, this card can suggest that resourcefulness and tactics are necessary. The fool may need to be alert and clever to come out ahead. Looks can be deceiving. Is someone at work or at home putting on an act? Are you? When we have nothing to rely on except for our own resourcefulness. See, this sounds like something that our emotions would start roaring if I am being like this towards myself. This is something that's not listening to the truth, So if we do go like this, though, go back to the source. Go back to the beginning. Go back to the source. All right. Let's get some less advice from the Office Oracle deck. We start with, there is no road here. All right, this keeps popping up too for a lot of people. So this is the time of everybody needs to start listening to themselves. There is no road here. Keep going and you'll be driving headfirst into a lake with Michael and Dwight. Turn around. Try a different path. Try a different way of doing things. Try a different perspective. Whatever is going on, there is no road. There are no rules. There are no guidelines. There is no road. There's no one exact way of doing things. You are right in the middle and you have all sorts of directions you can go. Always. There is no road. Have fun, explore, and listen to your heart. Have fun, explore, and listen to your heart. When there is no road, you can always make one. Yes. Oh, going backwards again. Going back to source. 9 to the 8. But there is triumph. Okay, Pam's excited for you. Michael has a triumph over the human body. Conquer that human body. Make it move. Going to run, dance, lift weights, do yoga, do flunkerton, whatever. Any body movement you enjoy. And when your body is yelling at you that it can't move anymore, you make it move again. Michael was laying on the ground exhausted, but even when he couldn't keep on going any longer, he got up and he still finished. Okay. So excited. This relates to anything in our lives, not just exercise. Our human bodies are wondrous machines. There is always a little bit of fuel left in the tank. There is always this bit of fuel left in the tank. That's cool. All right. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, yeah. And then with Perfektenschlag. The shoots have a word for when everything is coming together perfectly. Perfektenschlag. Not to be confused with perfect pork anus. Perfektenschlag. Everything is coming together perfectly. Look at that. Just like a circle will come together perfectly. Beautiful reading, Virgo. I am excited for what is to come.